Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome back to the Liberal Artist Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Bodio and with me I have Andy Gibby.
I watched the first 28 Days Later movie on a band bus, and let me tell you, mistake.
Okay, we're not doing any preamble anymore. We're jumping into it.
We can. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that we may not get to mention that charming anecdote of me watching an incredibly violent and partial nudity movie as an 8th grader on a charter bus.
No, Kaylie's not here. She's off being busy and such. So
you're just covering the infected got her. She's raging through the forests of
she got
England.
Vomited on. we were gonna do Avatar Aang. We'll wait on it, I guess.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll have time to yell at Paramount later.
So my insistence on movie of the year finally got Gibby to watch it. Just on his own. So it's 28 years later, baby. Bone Temple.
Oh yeah, gonna take you down to the Bone Temple. Yeah.
Bone Temple is ready.
I knew
a
that.
little bit of wrestling.
Well, not only that, the Bone Temple is just such a silly name out of context. Just yeah, that's what I call my bedroom.
No, but no, this movie came out in January of this year.
Yes.
A few months ago. I watched it at the beginning of the year, and I immediately went and told everybody who I knew this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. That might be true, but none of y'all watched it and made me sad.
Yes.
So now we're doing propaganda.
Fuckers.
Go watch Bone Temple.
Stop what you're doing right now. It's on Netflix. You've got the Netflix.
You have no excuse. Go watch Bone Temple. And then you can watch the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer that they're putting on Netflix for some reason.
Oh, dear God.
Anyway, Bone Temple, man.
Yes.
28 years later. So, like you were saying, you watched 28 Days, because this is the fourth.
This is
movie
the
of the
fourth
series?
movie. I've seen each of the movies of this series. I started out when I was in 8th grade. On a band bus with a portable DVD player with the screen built in. Technology peaked, and it's all been downhill ever since then. Let me tell you, not exactly the best way to get a full experience with cinematography, but still a pretty good way to scare the shit out of you when you're 14 or so.
Right.
Watched that movie. It's still excellent. Love some Cillian Murphy. Go back and watch it. Later on, watched 28 Weeks Later. Not a good movie, but very funny.
Sure.
One of the greatest intros to a movie ever. And then the plane crashes very, very hard. So I was very interested when I found out that the series was coming back. 28 years later, no subtitle, came out in 2025. And it was a situation where I meant to go watch it at the movies, and then I didn't. But then I got sick on a weekend recently, and I said, well, I might as well. Nothing helps the healing process than watching a movie about a zombie pandemic, right?
Right.
Totally
Right.
good for my hypochondria. But really, really enjoyed 28 years later, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But in my excitement, I texted Bo, who had been talking up the Bone Temple for quite some time. And I said,
Don't say it like that.
Well, you were the one saying it's the best movie of the year, so it deserves the hype.
Talking up the Bone Temple sounds unappealing.
Oh God, we got to find a different way to refer to this, Ralph Fiennes' most expensive music video ever, maybe.
Yeah. Rafe.
But yes. So essentially, I texted him, and the excitement that radiated from my friend's text message that I was getting started with a movie that he was really excited about. Because if you're not a longtime listener to this show, first of all, welcome. Second of
Hello.
all, Bo has a very high standard for movies. Yes.
I'm a jerk.
If Bo gives something a 7 out of 10, it's probably going to be the movie of the year. So the fact that you were excited that I was watching this so that we could talk about this in depth was very encouraging. And may I just say, the hype was well deserved.
Yes, dude.
May I give a snippet of synopsis of
Yeah, man, go
the
for it.
so 28 years later is essentially the story of Spike, a 12-year-old British boy who has, excuse me, I should say Scottish rather, because I'm
Sure.
pretty sure a lot of Scotsmen would
The Scots
say
would kill you
the
for
Scots
that.
would kill me. Yes, deservedly so. So a
Shout out Scotland.
12-year-old Scottish boy lives on a remote island community, safe relatively from the infected UK, which was infected back in 28 days later with the rage virus, similar to zombification, but much
Mm,
faster and much
yes.
easier to spread.
Much
Uh,
grosser.
much grosser. Yes. Essentially, that movie is him learning to survive in the wilderness through the guidance of his dad, but then later becomes a story of trying to heal his mom, who has uh, a mysterious illness, and it becomes a story about the dignity of death as well as the mercy of medicine. He meets a gentleman named Dr. Kelson,
Yep.
who everybody thinks is just a super spooky dude, but turns out to be just about the nicest guy that you could meet in a zombie apocalypse. And after uh, a very difficult journey, running into dangers such as a newly developed subspecies called the alpha zombie, you see that Spike gets to grow up and decides to go find himself, and also runs into a group of strangely colorful, uh, somewhat Power Ranger, somewhat Teletubbies, and somewhat, unfortunately, Jimmy Savile branded
Yeah.
warriors known as the Jimmies and uh, the Fingers, which is
Yes.
to say
The hand
essentially
of Jimmy.
tonally a shift. But
Yeah.
I'll say this: the very beginning of 28 years later is focused not on Spike, but on an 8-year-old Jimmy. So there was pretext for this.
Yeah.
You get to see like what happens to him when the infection comes to his hometown, and all of the ways that it could have traumatized him and locked him somewhat into the mind of an 8-year-old, and then later to a dangerous gang leader in the post-apocalypse. Because the story of the Bone Temple is much less about Spike, much more about Dr. Kelson and Jimmy, his lordship, Crystal, whatever the rest of his title is.
Whatever you would say. Yeah,
Yes.
if you don't know who Jimmy Savile is, I did not going into this movie.
Yep.
Look it up. It's a bad time.
Yep. It's
uh
it is an incredibly dark reference to be making, that
yeah.
actually makes perfect sense within the I don't want to be pretentious and say chronology, but rather like timeline of the movie, because
Sure.
I don't think that kids, given the fact that Jimmy Savile was a very famous children's television host, I don't think kids would have found out about all of his horrible crimes until
Yeah.
later on. So it makes sense that somebody who was like 8 in 2002 would still be like, "Oh yeah, Jimmy Savile, that's my boy right there."
Yeah. Or in the fantasy of 28 years, it may have never even come to light, right?
Very true. Very
Because the
true.
world would have partially ended.
Yeah. I mean, we're at the point
Instead.
where the entirety of the UK is still a quarantine zone. Like
Yeah.
life has gone back to normal. for everybody else. Like we see in the first
As we
28.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we see in the first 28 years movie that there's like the Swedish Navy is still going on patrol to try to like cut down as many infected as they can to make sure
Mm.
that they don't get back to the mainland any which way. Like life has gone back to normal for at least some other countries in the European Union. Maybe
Yeah.
not France. They got kind of fucked up in 28 years later, but
Yeah.
regardless.
Bombs. Who needs them?
Yeah, yeah. But suffice to say, you have a very different world and a very, very British focused story because I'm not surprised that like an American audience is unfamiliar with the reference to Jimmy Savile
For
as
sure.
well as why they're all wearing those like ratty blonde wigs.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So from my experience, I saw 28 Days Later back in like, I don't know, 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And then I jumped into Bone Temple at the beginning of this year. I haven't seen the other two, so I tapped in and was immediately rather excited. This
Mhm.
movie, I think, is a movie of two halves.
Mm.
It is only 109 minutes, right?
Crispy.
Like just crisp, less than 2 hours. It feels so much longer, and I mean that in the most affectionate way possible.
Yeah. They use their time wisely.
Ugh.
Like it feels full and it feels fulfilling.
Nolan, take notes.
Should have made the Odyssey 90 minutes long, Chris.
Seriously, but I think to talk about 28 to talk about Bone Temple. I guess we can't call it years too, because that would
Yeah.
be that's accurate, but it sounds weird.
Bone Temple.
Yeah, sounds like a Kingdom Hearts game title. But
Not enough
um,
numbers.
but Bone Temple is I think a movie of like two distinct halves.
Yes.
There's the first half, which is blood and guts slasher flick.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the second half, which is that really, really methodical conversations about
Mm-hmm.
what it means to lead, what it means to be a person, how to survive. Um, Obviously, I like the second half more
Yeah.
than the first half, but the
Yeah.
first half is so important,
Mm-hmm.
but also hard to get through. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Like the thing is that despite the fact that this roving gang that Spike has joined up with is so aesthetically silly
Hmm.
because they fight like they're Power Rangers because this is the media that like these people were exposed to when like the infection originally broke out. They are some of the most disturbing psychopaths
Horrifying.
I've seen in a movie. Like,
I think I think it does the very interesting thing. We were talking off pod a few weeks ago
mhm,
about things like Ender's Game and Hunger Games and why those pieces, at least in movies, don't quite hit as hard
yeah,
in the same way that they should.
yeah,
Is because like Hunger Games features young adults,
mhm,
right? And the energy hits way different when it's like, no, these are children,
yeah,
right? These are 12, 11, 9, 13-year olds.
yeah,
So it's like, it's one thing if the Jimmies are running around in track suits and like killing each other and ripping the skin off of other people.
yep.
Ay,
Wait, tough one.
ay, tough scene, man. Um, and not in an affirmative way. It's kind of an affirmative way. It's metal as fuck, but it's also ugh.
Yeah,
Um, Seeing that if they were all like 20 somethings would still be off putting, but whatever.
mhm,
Seeing children not only in this kind of violence, but like perpetuating, doing, reveling in that kind
yeah.
of violence is more horrifying than the zombies, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the whole deal is that like yes, they make the zombies disturbing and scary. Like I very much appreciated I'm not going to say enjoy, but appreciate
Mhm.
the level of like detail that goes into the victims of the rage virus, because they go out of their way to make them extra grody without it necessarily being like super gory as part of the design, but you
Sure.
see like the effect of the sickness on them. And credit to all the extras with all their performances,
Mhm.
especially in 28 years later with the pregnant infected. That is wild, wild shit with both performance and costuming.
Yeah.
But none of them, even when the alpha zombies rip someone's head out and take like the spinal cord with it, none of that can compare to how disturbing the Jimmies are.
No. No, 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 no. No. So we keep talking about the Jimmies, and we have to, man.
Yeah.
They're a they're a murder cult of children
Yeah.
run by one adult in his like I think he's supposed to be in his 30s or something.
Yeah, if
Um
he's like 8 in 2002-ish or so, and this
yeah.
is like, 28 years later, yeah, that would probably put him around then.
Yeah. The Jimmies are hard to talk about because they all go by Jimmy. They all of their names is Jimmy. Uh
Netflix tried with some of the subtitles to help me out, and I was
really.
just like, yeah, nah, I'm just gonna go by like the color of their
Yep.
tracksuits, man. That's
There's
all we got.
there's Jimmy, there's Lady Jimmy,
Yeah.
there's Tiny Lady Jimmy,
Yep.
there's Dude Jimmy, there's
Mhm.
other Dude Jimmy,
Yep.
there's Spike.
Yeah. It's difficult, but at the same time, like if you see them visually, you know exactly who you're referencing,
Mhm.
because like only in rare instances do they like blend together. Like everybody has like their own like subtly hinted at backstory, or when they're like the way that they fight, the way that they operate. They do a good job of being able to differentiate them from each
Yep.
other. And I think that helps so that you don't get lost in the mix.
Yeah. So the big thing that happens with them, and this is where we can go into more interesting conversation other than describing them,
Yeah.
is they all worship Satan.
Yep.
That is that is not an exaggeration. They worship Satan.
Yep.
The Morning Star, that guy.
I definitely need you to go back and watch the opening of 28 years later,
Sure.
because it all makes such sense. Like Jimmy's dad was
Big
like,
adult
yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah. Jimmy, like Crystal Lord, like
Mhm.
he watched his dad, who was like not a preacher and not a priest, but like the rector, I think they like referred to him
Sure.
as, or the vicar. Anyways, he escapes the zombies, runs to the church, and his dad's in there like praying and being really excited, and he's just like, Jimmy, my boy, the flock's here, and I'm gonna lead them. And the last thing he does is gives him like his rosary and crucifix,
Yeah.
and he's just like, let's fucking go, zombies. Which I feel like is a really, really easy way to convince your kid to become a Satanist. Yeah.
Step 1, be into the end of the world.
Yeah. Jimmy essentially thinks he's the son of Satan. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if that's directly like the Antichrist or just like the opposite of Christ himself, but he's convinced that he speaks to old Nick, or at least that's the like presentation that he's giving to maintain power with
Mhm.
everybody.
'Cause he knows it's bullshit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea of actually getting to meet Satan as they understand it kind of fucks with him, because he's like, oh no, they're all going to find out that I've just been bullshitting
Mhm.
with like confidence and violence, essentially.
Yeah. So
Your
they
your typical cult leadership.
yeah, so they much like the and this is very funny that it happened twice now. Much like the misunderstanding for Ray Fiennes' character in the first movie,
Yeah.
in this movie, the kid Jimmies find Ray Fiennes first, and
Mhm.
when they see a leathery old man walking out in the woods in a bone temple in a literal structure, a burial
A
structure Ray
castle of
Fiennes has built,
bones.
a castle of bones. They're like, oh shit, that's the guy.
Which, to be fair, if you see a man like covered in iodine that basically turns his skin red and
Mhm.
yellow and jaundiced and everything in a castle of bones, yeah, that's the devil.
We have to provide so much context. Okay.
Yes.
Ray Fiennes. Um he's a doctor, right?
Hmm.
So his whole situation is he is in this zombie apocalypse, but he believes there is a cure.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is to find a cure. So
Hmm.
he manages to basically get an alpha zombie, one
Hmm.
Samson, hooked on opium. Uh,
Straight up
but
morphine darts.
straight up morphine darts. And while the Samson, the alpha zombie, is zonked out, they hang out together.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting, these zombies are more like really vicious animals as
Yeah.
opposed to the Walking Dead, you know?
Yeah, the whole deal is that the way the infection works is you get infected like blood in an opening, whether that's like your mouth, a mark created when somebody like bites you or scratches you, or
Mhm.
in one case, in 28 days later, like a drop of blood like pops into your eye, like, and it's a very fast acting virus and
It's
it
immediate.
changes
Yeah.
your perception, it changes your behavior. So you immediately stop thinking and you perceive every living person or creature as a danger and one that must be destroyed and ripped to shreds immediately. Like there's some elements of like consuming, like we see the alpha zombies like crack open a cold one and like eat somebody's brains and everything like that. But it's much more about like perceiving everything as a threat. And
Mhm.
when Dr. Kelson hits the alpha zombie that he nicknames Samson with that good morphine and just like
That
hangs
good
out
shit.
with him and like teaches him how to dance or like how to like look at the stars or anything like that, we slowly start to realize he's not off base with the potential for a cure because we get to see like the testing in real time.
Samson starts to become human very
Yeah.
slowly, or become human
Yeah,
again.
like it's a treatment course that he's
Mhm.
performing. Like it's it's like experimenting, but we find that it's like successful and very slowly starts to take away some of that like infection, which is so interesting because there's
Yeah.
so few zombie movies out there where a cure is even possible.
Because usually they're dead. And
Yeah,
I have like fantasy wise structural questions about how alive are these people? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because obviously it's like, okay, so Samson ages, right? Because
yeah,
we see flashbacks, and when the initial when the infections happened, he was a child.
yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he's like
He,
an infected child who then grows up like and something
yeah,
in his genes causes him to be like
to be a
bigger and
quote alpha.
stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, okay, and you just like tanked everything for the last 30 years. Cool.
Yeah.
I could
Well,
get that. I saw a guy transform earlier in the movie, and
mhm,
he immediately started vomiting his guts out. So I
yeah.
assumed the same thing happened to you. How are you still? What's happening? Again, I don't think it's like a big deal because
Yeah.
the movie is powerful enough to where I wasn't sitting there thinking about how does this world's magic system work?
Yeah.
But it was after I walked out of the theater, I was like, wait, hold on.
There's a lot of like questions that the 28 years series is bringing to the 28 series like as a whole.
Mhm.
Like in 28 years later, there's a pregnant infected who gives birth on that same train and is implied to be Samson's mate. She gives birth to a perfectly healthy baby girl
Yeah.
And like even like during the birthing process, Spike's mom like assists her and like provides comfort and cuts the umbilical cord, and the baby shows like no sign of infection or anything like that. And then like the zombie immediately goes back to being a zombie and tries to kill them. So like
Yeah.
there are like questions about like the nature of consciousness with the infected from the rage virus, as well as like when are people like immune or like carriers but not
Mhm.
necessarily like actively infected.
In the end of the movie, Samson keeps his super strength. So it's
Yeah.
like, wait, why?
Yeah, and not only that, like can begin to like speak again.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Like
yeah,
becomes a human, but now he's just like a super guy.
yeah, kind of like maybe like next evolutionary step or something like
Yeah.
that.
So now it's X-Men, but
Yeah,
with more morphine.
it is a really interesting question because like we
Mhm.
see Samson like start to regain like consciousness. Like he says his first like word to Dr. Kelson, which really like proves to him that like the treatment course is working, like even when he was ready to give up. And he goes back to a place that he remembers, or at least starts to like trigger memory. Like we see
Mhm.
like mildly human traits, like when he starts wearing a loincloth again to like cover himself out of shame, or
A lot
when
of
he's
dick in this movie.
lot of dick in this movie. Samson hangs dong, man, hanging dong. But he also like is washing his hands in the river and
Yes.
everything. And so there's like subtle hints that he's getting back to some level of consciousness, if not the same, at least on like, a Neanderthal level.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And he eventually gets back. Like by
Yeah.
the end of the movie, he is speaking, and he apparently has been aware or is aware of everything that has happened,
Yeah.
if not for the last 30 years, in the last few weeks that he's been
Mhm.
hanging out with the doctor.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. If they do, please make another one. If they do make another movie, if we do get another movie, it'll
we
be
we
interesting to see
we
what
gotta
they
know
do.
our boy. We gotta
Please,
know.
I need to know he's okay. I
I
need
I
Samson and Killian Murphy to hang out and be homies.
I just think that like it's so interesting and important that we have a zombie movie that's about empathy in a way.
Mm.
Like Dr. Kelson, his entire like character arc, his entire like philosophy in both movies is about empathy and dignity. Like
Mhm.
you see that a man is like burning bodies in the zombie apocalypse, and you might think like, oh, that's just to like prevent the spread of infection. You see that he then creates an ossuary, and
Which
you
is a
think that,
big old castle of bones. By no
yeah,
exaggeration, he stacks a
yeah,
bunch of people's bones on top of each other in kind of a
yeah,
horrifying way.
yeah, and you think, okay, actually this guy's crazy, that's really scary. But his whole deal is just that like every life has value. He's done everything to essentially remember the dead and to give them meaning. Like his entire process of it just has so much like care behind it and so much
Mhm.
dignity that he puts into it, that it's especially important when like he finds and meets like Spike and his mom, and he realizes that his mom has cancer that's spread from her brain to everywhere else in her body, and essentially gives her like a medically assisted death. And when Spike realizes that he's done this, like he brings Spike her skull and tells her to like take a place like and find like the best place for her.
This was in the
So
last
it's
movie.
yeah, it's like it's very macabre out of context, but like watching it within the series, it's very touching and it's
Yeah.
just very meaningful. And it makes him such an interesting character because he has such a distinct look to him. And it's awesome that we get to spend so much time with him in this
Yes.
movie, to get to know him as a person, because not only is he a brilliant scientist, he's a goober that dances to Duran Duran, and while like scavenging for all of these like medical uh supplies all across the country. He also like picks up every vinyl record that he can find because
Yeah.
like it's important to remember like not only to survive but also the things that like make life worth living.
I think it's interesting and again, this movie is two halves, and the second
Yeah.
half is exactly what you're talking about. It's having him and Jimmy, Big Jimmy,
Yeah.
Sir Lord Jimmy,
Yeah.
sit down and just have a conversation. So it's wild to be empathic to the the Satanist who
Yeah.
has corrupted all of these children.
Yeah.
you know, because we really get to sit down and hear his perspective
Mhm.
of how the world works, how he's been able to, how he had to become this person in order to survive in the world, and it I kind of want a little bit more of Sir Lord Jimmy. Like I'd like to see,
Mhm.
maybe I wouldn't like to see how he convinced these children
Yeah.
to follow him, because we know part of it is he provides security. Um, the main lady, Jimmy, who ends up
Mhm.
taking Spike under her wing.
Yeah.
The one with
Red.
the cross is tattooed on her head,
I
drawn on her
want to
head.
say it's a scar, but it could very well
Yeah,
be a tattoo.
it's
Like
probably a
that.
scar.
Yeah.
She has an inverted cross
Yeah.
scarred on her forehead, to
Yeah.
tell you exactly what she's about. But
Yeah.
um, she just Spike tries several times. Spike gets in over his head. Spike's a little bitch, unfortunately for
He's
him.
12.
He's a bitch. he, and he gets in way over his head. Joins the Jimmies. Um, by ritual combat, by the way, kills.
Yeah.
I think it's shit Jimmy, something like that. Whatever they called him.
Something like
Uh,
that. He stabs him in the femoral artery,
and
not
they
knowing
watch it.
that
Yeah.
like he was just like trying to defend himself in this ritualistic like one man two men enter, one man leaves sort of situation.
Hmm.
And like the big guy is like clowning on him or whatever. And Spike just with like a lucky shot essentially nicks him in like the biggest artery in your leg, and only like soon after do people start to realize, huh, that's not a great place to start
Yep.
bleeding from.
And we watch a
Huh.
14-year-old bleed out slowly,
Yeah.
begging for help, and
Uh
everybody's like, "Shouldn't have got stabbed, homie."
and it's just like they're in a pool and it's like, well, the pool will be filled up again real quick, I guess.
Yeah, that was actually the folks who I went to watch this in theaters with.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like, they found that to be the most disturbing part of the movie, and I'm like, I get it, they're kids.
I
You don't
get
want to
it.
see a kid go through that, man. That's fucked up.
Also,
Um,
it's a little bit more realistic and it makes you realize that we
mhm.
should defend our legs more often.
Yeah, we should not get stabbed there in the thigh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, not a great place.
um, the Jimmies all come from obviously terrible circumstances.
Yeah.
We can assume the rage virus wiped out whatever villages they were in, if they were in multiple,
Yeah.
and they have a sense of community.
Mhm.
It's obviously a tense one, right?
Yeah.
And Spike coming in, killing one of the Jimmies. The other boy Jimmies don't like him,
Yeah.
because he killed their friend.
Yeah.
Uh, it's this beautiful dichotomy of this, like, I totally get where you're coming from, little dude, but also I know you kill people on the regular for sport, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel bad for you, but also go fuck yourself, man. You know what I mean?
Well, the whole deal is that Spike only recently got to the mainland, like within the
Mhm.
last like week or two. Like
Yeah.
he took his first voyage, a ceremonial voyage with his dad, like a hunting trip or something, and he's only killed about like 10 infected total. Like he just caught his first body like 10 days ago.
Right.
And this is the first time that he's ever left Stardew Valley, basically. Like an
He went
island
from
where
Stardew Valley into Resident Evil 4, and he's like, "What's
yeah,
happening?"
we went from Stardew Valley to Reservoir Dogs, man. It's even worse because like the zombies aren't even the fucking problem. Like Spike doesn't even like see an infected practically for this whole movie. Like
Mhm.
it's like I just learned how to deal with like the infected, And now I got to deal with the hard shit, like
Yep.
people. And
Yeah.
that's so much more like complicated and scary. Because it's like, wait, I did the thing you told me to do despite the fact that I was shitting my britches the whole time. Why do you all still want to kill me?
Right. Why do you want me to go kill this pregnant lady?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he's found security, and it's the most like tense security that you could possibly find.
But at what cost? Oh, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's beautiful irony.
it really is. Like it just surviving on like a knife's edge, basically. And
Mhm.
like, oh man, the fucking farm scene is.
The farm scene is brutal. I whenever I recommend this movie to people, I'm like, hey, there's a scene in there.
Yeah,
It's heavy. You
yeah,
just got to get through it. The farm scene. I don't want to. I don't want to describe the farm scene. Mostly
yeah,
because if you're listening to this, I need you to go watch this movie.
yeah,
Take your time. Don't feel like you need to watch it at the end if you're or watch it all at once if you're squeamish.
yeah.
Man,
I
man,
think what's
man.
most difficult about it is that like I can handle any fantasy violence. I've
Mm,
seen everything when it comes to fantasy violence, and it doesn't make me like flinch or anything like that. I don't think that this is so far removed that it couldn't happen in our
yes.
world, and that's what makes it so much scarier.
And what I found scariest is they had code words for it, they had
Yeah.
plans for it, and it
This
was
is not the first
clean.
time.
This is not the first time. This isn't the second time they have done
Yeah.
this to people. And it's like,
And
ha!
they leave one person to watch, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It is fucked.
and they only leave that person so that they can test that person and break that person at best or kill that person at worst. Because
Yup.
what a great action scene when the one like farm guy is allowed to like fight like
Get his
crazy lady
revenge.
Jimmy
Yeah.
to like take her on in one-on-one combat, and you get some sense of her backstory. And when you think that she's gonna get even more depraved, like surprises and further action,
Mm-hmm.
God, what a good horrifying action sequence that
Good
comes
horrific.
after.
Good, amazing, amazing VFX, amazing acting, amazing
Yes.
staging. I never want to see it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that was so incredibly well done. Like the I don't want to spoil too much, but the hook is just like
The hook is
good God.
ha.
Good
I think
God,
that
man.
was the moment it registered to me that, oh, these are children.
Yeah.
Like that exact moment, and her reaction to the hook and what she started saying, I'm like, oh God, these are kids.
Yep. And so all of this farm scene leads to like this encounter with Dr. Kelson.
Mhm. And then the movie slows way down.
It does.
For the
It does.
for the better.
And
For the better.
for the better, because good God, we needed a breather. We needed a breather real bad after that. So we've talked about it some, but I think the first meeting between Dr. Kelson and Jimmy Lord Crystal
Mhm.
is the most important scene and the most interesting scene in the whole piece.
I love how casual it is.
Yes, because like this is not a situation where like Jimmy comes in guns blazing trying to like impress this other guy. It's more of a situation of like, hey, you're the devil and my dad.
He pulls up on him, is like, hey, you're not, hey, excuse me, sir. Hi, sorry to bother you. You're not Satan, are you? Dr. Kelson's like, no. He's like,
Hey.
great, can we talk?
What the fuck? I'm not a psychologist, but I can give it a try. Like I've seen it summarized as like a Satanist talks to an atheist, and yeah,
Basically,
that's correct.
yeah.
And it's difficult because it's like it's very tense, but it's also very casual because everybody's being very open about.
But I feel like
everything.
the tension comes from the first act because we know what Sir Lord Jimmy is capable of, or at least
Yes.
capable of commanding the Jimmys to do.
Yes.
But when you look at the interaction, he pulls up and says, "Hey, can we just like? I haven't been around in another adult in I think ever. Can we just
Ever.
like talk?"
Yeah.
To which Dr. Kels was like, "Yes, it's been the only adult I've interacted with in the last year doesn't wear pants. Let's chat."
Yeah. And it's just like it's so weird. And this is kind of a weird comparison, but it reminds me of during COVID, the
Mm,
first time that I saw somebody that I knew just out and about. Like this was maybe May of 2020, and I was driving through like fully masked up in my car to like get some like Louis chicken fingers or something like
sure.
that. And from like across the parking lot, I saw somebody that I knew from high school, and
Yeah.
like she saw me, and it was like seeing the first people that weren't our families in like a decade. And it
Yeah.
felt a lot, the scene felt a lot like that, where it's just like, hey, interaction.
Yeah.
This is weird.
No,
You
really.
okay? No?
It-
Same.
It's like I have nothing to say to you, but I desperately want to talk to you.
Exactly, exactly. And so like Dr. Kelson essentially starts to diagnose Jimmy just based on all the things that he's talking about. And he starts to figure out that he's like not just like a Satanist or anything and like a violent, dangerous cult leader, but also
Mm,
like clearly disturbed from childhood trauma and most likely schizophrenic because he's hearing or at least claiming to like hear voices speaking to him inside of his mind.
yeah. I think it's just emblematic of how important it is. If you want good character moments,
Mhm.
having people like do the farm scene or John Wick each other is awesome. But if you want people to care about a character's the quiet moments, right? The only
Mhm.
comparison I have, and it's because it's a Bo and Gibby episode, I get to do
Mhm.
this. It's
Yeah.
like Sergeant Hatred, where it's like this guy is vile. This
Yeah.
guy has committed the worst sins rather that a
Yeah.
person could. But having him sit down and talk to somebody who wants to hear him and hear his
Yeah.
perspective. It's like, I don't forgive you for what you've done.
Yeah.
I kind of get it though, man. Yeah.
Also, like, I'm oh god, I was about to say the words in Sergeant Hatred's defense. The
We should
O
defend Sergeant Hatred. He
the
hates himself for what he is,
yeah,
and he tries to be better.
the OSI created him.
Yeah.
Like this is the OSI's fault. They gave him that like meds that turned him into a predator. Like that's on them. Like but like in a similar vein, like it is not Jimmy's fault that like he has turned into this. It is his responsibility,
Yes.
but he also has not had an adult in the last 2+ decades
Mm,
or like any means of like medication or anything to
mm.
be able to like confront what are clearly extremely violent and psychopathic tendencies.
And this is the person he had to become to survive,
Yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
like two people who have survived several decades in this hellscape, and
Yeah.
they went down very different paths. But
Mhm.
instead of coming to heads to each other and trying to kill each other, they just get to sit by a creek and be like, "Hey, man, this is what I've been through. Tell me what you've been through."
And I
You
thought it
know?
was so neat that like Jimmy, who never experienced like real life before the
Mm-hmm.
infection really started, has a genuine curiosity with Dr. K to ask him, like,
What was it
so
like?
yeah, what was it like before that? It feels like talking to like kids who were like either really young during COVID or like
Mm-hmm.
born after COVID, just to be like, well, this is like the difference of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, to a much greater extreme and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it was also just so fascinating that the good doctor is like, I don't remember that much. I can remember some like vibes, and I've got some pictures,
Yeah.
but it kind of doesn't matter.
I actually compare it more to, this is an extremely specific thing. I talk to my mom about this a lot, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking about it now because I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Going to airports before 9/11.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like asking my mom was like, "Hey, I remember vaguely, but I remember when my grandma came here and I was like 5 or 6, we walked up to the gate with her and
Yeah.
it like wasn't a big deal. We used to be able to do that, right?" And she's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely."
Like, there were people smoking occasionally,
Mhm.
like the people who smoked in restaurants, like,
Yeah.
when you have those, like, sudden shifts and, like, extreme changes, like, there's so many of us that have, like, no recollection whatsoever, but then there's a couple of us that have, like, a vague memory of, like, what it may have been like, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And then the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. There are jokes.
Yeah.
They don't always land, but there are
Yeah.
jokes.
'Cause it's just like, I just saw A Man Without Skin. I'm
Yeah.
not in the mood right now.
But the music video at the end, a little.
God, it's what a brilliant setup for an insane scene that on
Mhm.
paper may not have worked, but in practice absolutely works. Like, so Jimmy realizes he's in a bind because clearly Dr. Kelson's not the devil.
Mhm. But the kid Jimmy's think he is.
Yeah. Yes. And Jimmy's just like, hey, you're going to need to figure out a solution to this or we're going to
We're
skin
just
you
gonna kill.
alive.
We're gonna skin you alive. We're gonna kill you. Which Dr.
Yeah.
K is like, Yeah, I want to
Hmm.
live. We could do that."
He's just like, counterpoint. I've got an Iron Maiden record. And essentially, what he does is he transforms the Bone Temple from an ossuary into the sickest goth music venue ever, like the
Mhm.
metalist shit you've ever seen. He basically creates an Ouroboros of flame. He
Mhm.
rigs up like a giant speaker system and everything, and he like dresses satanic, like changes up the makeup
Yep.
in like, you know, kind of an Ozzy Osbourne or like death metal sort of vibe, and convinces the entire group that he's the devil, not just by like dancing and singing along to Number of the Beast, the sickest Iron Maiden song. I say as somebody that's been into Iron Maiden for 15 fucking years, but also like breathing like some sort of psycho like psychedelic substance like in their faces to
Mhm.
turn it into some real cult shit.
And it again, it's so fun. It's so
Yes.
metal, like right,
Yes.
like we describe it. He's got his face painted up like he's in a hair metal band. He's
Yeah.
playing he's set up a speaker system in the middle of the
Mhm.
woods. He's fire dancing. And then
Yeah.
again, you have to sit there and be like, "Oh right, these kids have probably never heard not just this music,
Mhm.
music in general."
Yeah.
Their entire lives. They've never experienced anything. This is an
Yeah.
experience for those of us who like live next to the fucking Staples Center, and these kids have never seen. There's no world where they would have seen anything even near this. So
These
it
kids
has
were
to be
still
mind blowing.
watching Teletubbies. Like,
And
this
that was a rare
is
occasion. They're mostly walking
yeah.
around the woods finding somebody to kill.
Exactly. Like, you've got to put yourself in the shoes and the tracksuits of these characters to be able to like understand like, oh, you don't know what metal is. You maybe have a vague idea of what music could be or
Mhm.
used to be. Like maybe you heard a lullaby once.
Yeah.
Spike, no fucking chance. Like outside of like some fiddle music at a party one time. Like the concept.
It's
Showing these kids Iron Maiden is like that Tumblr joke about giving a medieval peasant a Cool Ranch Dorito and killing them
seriously
with it. Yeah.
right. They be, what the fuck is it? It's Jesus is doing a private concert for you for some
Yeah.
type of music you've never heard before, but it's fucking awesome. You're like,
Yeah.
ah.
And not only that, everything that Jimmy Crystal has been preaching for
Oh, Jimmy.
years, probably at this point, is coming true right in front of your eyes while you are like doped up on something, like some
Mhm.
sort of like party drug that they warned us about in health class.
No, man. And then they do a very I think it's the right way to go is to set up the sequel, but they do a
Yeah.
very justice and
Yes.
Lord Jimmy gets found out, he gets his due. Spike and main girl Jimmy get away,
Yeah.
run off together into the forest to live another day to be
Yeah.
better. We haven't spoken much about Spike. I don't think there's a lot. Spike's weirdly a bystander of this movie, I
And
feel.
I think it's right that he is
Mm,
because he's more so the audience POV in this than somebody getting his own development. Like
fair enough.
he got a lot of development in the first one, and this is his time to take a backseat and be like, shit's fucked.
Yeah,
Shit's real
yeah.
fucked right now. Especially like with the climax when Dr. K realizes like, oh, not only is this a kid with like a real kid with the jimmies, he looks and sees, oh shit, this is that kid that I just saw a
It's like, "Oh,
week
I know
ago.
you." Yeah.
You've had a real rough week, friendo. And like willingly sacrifices himself to
Himself.
make sure that like Spike gets away safely and that essentially the wasteland is safe from an incredibly dangerous psychopath.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
bastards hit you with one last jump scare. Fuck you. Fuck you 28 years later.
I do find it incredibly fitting and like such beautiful, like dramatic irony that Sir Jimmy Crystal is like, not only do they like slash him and like conk him on the head, to make
Mhm.
sure he's out, but also crucifying him upside down and giving him like the most justified and dramatically ironic death is both like so satisfying and horrifying because you
Yeah.
see him revert to like being an 8-year old again, like that
Back
same
in
kid that
yeah.
he was like the day that like the infected invaded.
Yeah. Hey, man. Justice isn't pretty.
Oh,
You know?
oh, oh God, no. Like that head was coming off them shoulders at the
Yeah.
end there. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so funny and good that like, he sees Samson and hallucinates him as Satan
Yep.
swinging down.
Swinging down. No, Samson had pants by that point.
Oh yeah, he
Because I
probably
think
did, but
Samson's a guy at
yeah,
that point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But in Jimmy's vision, he's got like the
The
horns and the
horns
red
and
skin
shit.
and everything like that.
Yeah,
As soon as I saw the camera hanging around, I was like, he's gonna get him.
yeah.
He's gonna get him.
No.
Uh, but
Uh,
we'll get more of Spike in the next movie. Knocking on
mhm.
all the wood that I can
Please
because I
and thank you.
really want to see this next movie. Like, if you were confused at all for anybody listening, like, hey, what's Kelly and Murphy doing here? Uh, he was in the
He
very
was in the
first
first one.
movie.
Yeah.
He's the main guy, the first one, and it was very cool to like see him and his story continuing and seeing like Spike and him like on a course to meet each other.
So, yeah, man. I fucking love this movie. Here's the
This
depressing
was
part.
so sick.
Ah, it's so good. It's so sick. Here's the
So sick.
depressing part. I'm looking on Wikipedia. Um, it was a budget of 63 million, which
You're gonna hurt
uh,
me.
it
You're
only
gonna hurt
made
me.
it made 58.5.
Fuck.
Yeah, pretty
Fuck.
not deep in the red, but still in the red.
I
Um,
hope it's one that like word of mouth gets around and like award season it gets something
something.
and like the fact that like people are still talking about it on like social media and like Reddit or wherever,
Mm,
like I think the fact that it's on just Netflix straight up and you don't have to go like digging for it or
yeah,
like subscribe to Shudder or something is really important
I hope it
for
gets a
like the
resurgence.
longevity.
Yeah, I like you were saying. I hope around awards. I hope it gets put in some kind of award. I know that other like two other big horror movies have come out this year, so
Yeah.
it might get left on the wayside. But I'm praying
Yeah.
it doesn't. 'Cause I don't think horror has its own Oscar.
Never,
Yeah, it never will.
like
Um,
you'll get like sickanddeadly.com, like handing out
Sure.
like welcome to the bloodies or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But I'm hoping Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping people start talking about it then. Uh, go watch this movie, please. I love this movie
Jeez.
dearly. It's so good.
Watch this fucking movie, man.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
like goddamn, this shit like hits real good.
It's a good ass movie.
Like Danny Boyle really doesn't have like too many stinkers, but I think this is quite easily his best. Oh shit. My bad. 28 years later is a Danny Boyle, and it is still, I think, his best. But 28 years later, The Bone Temple is directed by Nia DaCosta, and you need to like keep an eye on what she does next, because
Holy moly,
goddamn, she slapped with this one.
lady,
and
knocked it out of the park.
Killer, like at like 36, are you for real? Like,
yeah. Keep making movies, ma'am. Please.
Was it a dumbass Star Wars quote that's just like, "We will watch your career with great interest"?
Yeah.
That's how I feel now, because I'm just like, you mean to tell me you could be doing this for like 40 years or more? Like, tell me more. I am sat for the next one, whatever the next one is.
Whatever you got your name on, ma'am. Strap me in. I'm here for it.
Even your immersive dining experiences on the Disney Wish cruise ship.
Your Avengers immersive dining experience, Jesus.
According to your filmography, that's where we're going next. That's where Bo's taking his trip. We're getting on the Disney Wish cruise line.
Me on the cruise watching the Avengers, like, Nia DaCosta directed this. I was like,
and all of a sudden the rage infection breaks out, and I'm like, wow, what an immersive experience. Oh, you did it again, Nia.
No. But that has been this episode of the Little Bit Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, please, please go watch this movie. I'm not even gonna do a call to action.
Fucking movie,
go watch
man.
this movie.
This is the call to action.
This is
Fuck everything
else.
Watch this goddamn movie.
Join us next time. You know what we're gonna tell you. Go watch 28 Years Later, Bone Temple.
We're gonna get Mr. Finds his Oscar. God damn it.
Peace.
The Liberal Artists Podcast premieres every other Thursday on your favorite podcasting platform. The show is hosted by Bodio Kaylie Horowitz, and Andy Gibson. You can find the show at Liberal Artists Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks to White Hot for performing the theme song Reflect, which can be found on freebeats.io. Now, I'm off to go exploring, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a sheep that I can call my own. Good day.
I think he already has one, right?
Probably. We're gonna make sure he gets another.
He's Rafe goddamn Fiennes. He better have one. Hold up. I'm looking this up right now. He doesn't have one.
All right.
He's been getting nominated for as long as I've been alive, since '93. Academy.
Schindler's List. Give him his Oscar.
Give him his Y'all gave DiCaprio one just because you owed him. Give one to Ray Fiennes.
All right, you live in LA. We're going to set up a base of operations in your apartment, and we are going to pull off the heist of the century and put Ray Fiennes' nameplate on the Oscar. I don't even care if he's fucking nominated next year. We're going to make sure that he gets it.
We're going to put him on the thing for Best Picture. We're going to La La Land Ray Fiennes.
And the Academy Award for Best Short Form Documentary is Ray Fiennes? What the fuck?
Me in the front row, like...
That's my fucking boy.
That's my king.
Number of the Beast starts playing. The entire Dolby Digital Theater lights on fire.
Hell fucking yeah.